Hey guys, so today I'm showing you another ramen recipe. So today I'm showing you how to make this delicious shredded beef ribs ramen, or you can make it using shredded chicken. So let's get started with the recipe. If you decide to make the shredded chicken ramen, you're doing the same thing I'm doing here with the ribs. The only difference is you're using chicken instead of beef ribs, okay? But you do the same thing, same seasonings, same cooking method, and the chicken, you would cook it for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes until it's tender and you can shred it. Okay, so I'm starting by seasoning my beef ribs. So I'm seasoning it with some salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and some paprika. And just make sure you fully coat the ribs with all of that good seasoning. And then you're going to cover it and let it marinate for about 1 hour. Okay, so after it's finished marinating, you're going to put a pot on the stove over medium heat. Once it's hot, I'm adding in some sesame oil. I'm using sesame oil to build flavors. It's gonna add a great flavor to the ramen. Okay, so add in your sesame oil and you're gonna brown the beef on each side until it's perfectly seared and it has a nice deep brown color all over. All right, after it's finished browning, I'm adding in some minced garlic and freshly minced ginger. And you're just gonna give that a stir and let it cook for about 2 minutes so the ginger and garlic can start to release that good flavor. Next, I'm adding in my water, and I'm gonna add a lot of water because we need enough broth here with the meat to eat with our noodles. All right, so I added in my water, and here I'm seasoning up my pot a little bit, and I'm seasoning it with beef bouillon cubes. 2 different types of bouillon cubes. I'm using a beef bouillon cube, and then the second one was like a tomato based bouillon cubes, but you don't have to use the tomato base. You can use 2 beef bouillon cubes. Okay, if you're making chicken, of course you could use chicken bouillon cubes. All right, so next I'm gonna add in some soy sauce, some hoisin sauce, and some rice vinegar into my broth. Give that a good mix to mix all of these ingredients together, and then you're gonna cover your pot, let it come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, you're gonna turn your heat down to like medium low, and let your pot cook until it's tender, soft. Also, you guys taste the broth and see if you need to adjust your seasoning. So taste it, and you can add in some all-purpose seasoning if you need it, or some salt and black pepper. Okay, while my ribs and broth is cooking, I'm gonna make some chili oil. All right, so I'm using sesame oil. You can use any type of oil, but sesame oil is gonna add a good flavor to the ramen. So I added my oil, and then once it's hot, you're gonna add in some chili flakes and let that cook together for about 1 to 2 minutes. Don't let it burn and turn black on you, and set it aside until you're ready for it. All right, so my beef ribs have been cooking for about an hour and a half, and as you can see, it started falling off the bone. So I'm gonna let it cook for about 30 more minutes, let it get nice and tender and soft, and then I'm gonna remove the ribs from the pot. So I'm just gonna use a fork, and I'm gonna shred the beef off the bone. The bone will be very easy to come off. You could just pull it off, and if you want, you don't have to shred the beef. You could just leave it in huge chunks, or just use a fork to help you shred it. Okay, so, and again, you would do the same if you're using chicken. So here I'm cooking my noodles. So I'm using regular ramen packets, and I just added the noodles in a bowl, and I'm pouring boiling water on top of it. Then I'm gonna cover it and let it cook for about, let it just steam and cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. So if you want, you could boil it on the stove, but you really don't have to. Like, just put it in a bowl with some boiling water from like your kettle, cover it for about 4 minutes, and it'll be perfectly cooked. The longer you leave it, the softer it'll be, so just keep that in mind. So after 4 minutes or so, I remove the water, and I have my perfectly cooked ramen noodles. Okay, so now it's time for me to make myself a delicious bowl of beef ribs ramen. So I'm getting my bowl, and I'm gonna add some of the noodles. And next I'm gonna top it off with some shredded beef ribs. Put as much or as little as you'd like, because this is your bowl. Next, I'm gonna add in, I sliced up some onions and some scallions and chopped up some cilantro. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of everything in there. And lastly is to add that delicious broth. So yeah, I'm gonna fill up my bowl with that. And next, I'm gonna add in the chili oil. Add as much as you like. The more you add, the spicier the dish will be. So I poured some in mine, and then I'm gonna mix that into my ramen soup. And lastly, I'm gonna top it off with 1 boiled egg. So when it comes to boiling the eggs, I like my eggs boiled, hard boiled, so that's how I cooked it for me. So cook it however you like your eggs, and just top it off on your bowl. And that's it, you guys. That is it for this recipe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. It's a simple, delicious meal to make. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.